NFL preseason Brent Sobleski @Brent Sobleski NFL Analyst September 1, 2018 Stacey Revere, Getty ImagesThe NFL preseason operates in a vortex in which results mean nothing, yet what happens throughout those contests means everything. Every coach publicly downplays what occurs during August only to talk up the importance of the process behind closed doors. A successful preseason is built on two factors: key contributors remaining healthy and how a team comes together in an attempt to be as cohesive as possible. Of course, coaching staffs aren't game planning for preseason opponents, but the basic template of success versus failure emerges. How each team grades throughout the preseason is based on numerous factors. Performance, rookie development and early returns from off-season additions were considered. As with every preseason, execution by a team's projected starting units was far more important than that of second and third string standouts, unless, of course, those lower-rung individuals worked their way into significant roles. Numerous teams look better than expected, while others still have some problem areas to address as the regular season looms. Arizona Cardinals quarterback Sam Bradford lines up behind his offensive line. Christian Peterson, Getty Image. Surprisingly, the most discussed injury in Arizona Cardinals camp is to a quarterback, but it's not Sam Bradford. Josh Rosen injured the thumb on his throwing hand and didn't play in the team's third or fourth preseason games. So, any thoughts of Rosen usurping Bradford's standing in the lineup after the veteran completed 72.7% of his passes in limited opportunities this preseason will have to be put on hold for now. Bradford benefits from two major positives in the Cardinals' offense. First, David Johnson is healthy and once again looks like the back who gained 2,118 total yards from scrimmage during the 2016 campaign before missing 15 games last season due to a wrist injury. Also, head coach Steve Wilks now considers the offensive line a strength after Justin Pugh and Andre Smith's additions, according to the Associated Press's Bob Baum. Although, the team will rely on a rookie center, Mason Cole, since incumbent A.Q. Shipley suffered a season-ending ACL tear, a few questions still linger on the roster, with a second wide receiver and pass rusher, until Marcus Golden is cleared to play, needed. Also, cornerback opposite Patrick Peterson still isn't completely settled. Grade C. Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian calls a play with head coach Dan Quinn and quarterback Matt Ryan watching. Associated Press. The Atlanta Falcons took a step back in 2017 after representing the NFC in Super Bowl 51. The biggest issue originated with Steve Sarkisian taking over as offensive coordinator. Sarkisian looked out of his depth, and this year's preseason has been about building a much stronger rapport between the play caller and his entire unit. I always think when you're on the same page with someone like that, where I'm anticipating something coming in and then it comes in and I know exactly why he's calling in, those are the times in my past we've been really good, quarterback Matt Ryan said, per Kelsey Conway of the Falcons' official site. I feel like we're getting there. Julio Jones' usage remains in question. The offensive line has a question mark at right guard. The group needs to work rookie receiver Calvin Ridley into the mix as well. The Falcons' offense didn't establish much of a rhythm this preseason, scoring just 13 points with Ryan at the helm. I think the veterans and the experienced guys that we have make you feel good about what we are going to be and who we are going to be as we move forward throughout the year, Ryan said, per the Atlanta Journal-Constitution's D. Orlando Ledbetter. For the Falcons stock, hey, hopefully Ryan is right. Grade D. Baltimore Ravens wide receiver John Brown. Patrick Smith, Getty Images. Nearly everything has worked out in the Baltimore Ravens' favor this preseason. At quarterback, Joe Flacco is having the best camp of his 11-year career, according to NBC Sports' Peter King. Rookie backup Lamar Jackson flashed tremendous potential, and the coaching staff plans to use the rookie quarterback as part of certain offensive sub-packages. Up front, the offensive line is settled, with Matt Skura as the starting center, per Ryan Mank of the team's official site, and rookie Orlando Brown overcoming his horrendous draft lead-up to become the Ravens' right tackle. At wide receiver, Michael Crabtree and John Brown form a nice complementary duo after the Ravens claimed one of the worst skill positions groups going into this offseason. Crabtree gives the team a reliable number one target, while Brown has the speed to stretch the field. Finally, the Ravens' defensive front is loaded. As a result, the front office took advantage and turned a breakthrough preseason performance by Kamalei Correa into a 2019 sixth-round draft pick, and the linebacker hadn't even been projected to make the roster. Cornerback Jimmy Smith's impending 4-game suspension and a stress fracture in tight end Hayden Hurst's foot spoil what could have been a nearly perfect preseason. Grade: A Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen evades pressure. Brett Carlson, Getty Images. The Bills have enough to be competitive, yet too many questions still exist at key positions. First, Sean McDermott won't name a starting quarterback. We're still working through that with our situation, which is to be expected a little bit with drafting Josh Allen this year and having a young player in Nate Peterman and then A.J. McCarron coming in through free agency, the Bills head coach said, per the Buffalo News' Jay Skursky. There's been good competition there and all three have played at a high level. It's not to be expected, nor are any of the three playing at a high level. Josh Allen got the nod in Buffalo's third preseason contest. This usually indicates the team's preferred starting choice. But the Cincinnati Bengals overwhelmed the rookie and his offensive front. The blocking, or lack thereof, is arguably a bigger concern. The organization's plight to replace three starters is not going well. Deion Dawkins' eventual return from a hip injury will help. The rest of the unit is subpar, though. On the other side of the ball, the Bills need more from 2016 first-round pick Shaq Lawson, and the competition for the cornerback spot opposite Tre'Davious White is still wide open, according to WKBW's Joe Buscaglia. Grade: F. Carolina Panthers wide receiver DJ Moore. Associated Press. Cam Newton and the defensive front seven are the Carolina Panthers' two constants. Building around those two elements continues to be the franchise's biggest obstacle. However, the ancillary pieces seem to be coming together under new coordinators Norv Turner and Eric Washington. The skill positions, in particular, are exciting. Turner appears to have a plan for Christian McCaffrey to become a lead back. Last year's 8th overall pick averaged 7.2 yards per carry this preseason. Wide receiver is also far more potent, with Torrey Smith, first-round pick DJ Moore and a healthy Curtis Samuel in the mix. The speed is the difference, cornerback Captain Manurlin said, per ESPN.com's David Newton. I don't know if Cam's had this much speed in the receiving corps since he's been here. I remember looking at those guys 40 times and nobody is slow in that room. That's scary. The organization moved on from fellow cornerback Darryl Worley this offseason and found another young standout in Dante Jackson, who could start opposite James Bradbury. The offensive line appears to be the only holdup since right tackle Darrell Williams and left tackle Matt Khalil are both recovering from knee injuries, which creates some upheaval along the front five. Grade: B. Chicago Bears linebacker Roquan Smith. Associated Press. A give and take can be found in the Chicago Bears' preparation leading up to the regular season. Excitement builds over a new coaching staff, Mitchell Trubisky's development, and a new-look wide receiver core. All of those things were on display during the preseason. However, the organization's stubbornness regarding Roquan Smith's rookie contract cost the team and this year's 8th overall pick valuable time. Smith suffered a slight hamstring pull not long after his arrival and didn't play a single preseason snap. I don't want to get to a spot to where we quote-unquote rush him back and then all of a sudden he comes back and boom, you just lost another whatever, 6 to 8 weeks, head coach Matt Nagy said, per ESPN.com's Jeff Dickerson. I don't want that. I lean more towards the cautious side. Smith didn't sign until August 14 and received little practice time before his injury. It's not entirely fair to place so much emphasis on one player, yet the Georgia product is supposed to be the franchise's new defensive centerpiece. As exciting as the Bears' defense could be, and it should make drastic improvements over last season's 30th-ranked unit, how the front office handled Smith's situation cast a shadow over the entire preseason. Grade: C. Cincinnati Bengals right tackle Bobby Hart. Joe Robbins, Getty Images. The Cincinnati Bengals are wasting some of the league's best talent because the team lacks a solid foundation. A.J. Green is among the league's top wide receivers. Geno Atkins is a dominant force along the defensive interior. Carlos Dunlap is hard to handle off the edge. Yet, a suspect offensive line continues to plague the Bengals, and it appears the team didn't do enough to solidify its front five. John Ross displayed his record-setting speed by scoring a 57-yard touchdown against the Buffalo Bills. It's a fantastic sign after all of his rookie struggles, but it won't mean much if the Bengals can't keep Andy Dalton upright. The left side is now set after some off-season maneuvering. Cordy Glenn is an accomplished left tackle, as long as he remains healthy. Clint Bowling is a rock-solid left guard. Rookie Billy Price, meanwhile, came into this year's draft class as the top-rated center prospect before the Bengals selected him. The right side remains unsettled without reliable starting options. Trey Hopkins and Bobby Hart are listed as the team's starting right guard and tackle. Alex Redmond and Cedric Ogbuehi are still competing for those jobs, though. None of them have stood out during this competition, which creates more trepidation. Grade, CCL Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett Associated Press. The Cleveland Browns are a much better team than last year's 0-16 squad. But they're far from being good. Plenty of positives occurred in August. Tyrod Taylor and number 1 overall pick Baker Mayfield both look like competent quarterback options. Joel Bitonio's move to left tackle has gone smoothly. Carlos Hyde looks like a legitimate lead back, and Duke Johnson and rookie Nick Chubb appear ready to contribute. At wide receiver, Jarvis Landry has quickly become a leader, and the team has benefited from the development of Rashard Higgins and Antonio Callaway. Once Josh Gordon is ready to be a full participant, the unit will be counted among the league's most dangerous. Defensively, though, is where Cleveland looks the most improved. Defensive end Myles Garrett is well on his way to becoming a game-changer. The overhauled secondary is far more aggressive and capable of playing press man, which is a staple of Greg Williams' defense. Plus, the team is deep at linebacker with Christian Kirksey, Joe Schaubert, Jamie Collins and emerging rookie Jannard Avery. However, Michael Kendrick's release while facing federal indictments didn't help. The team's primary preseason downfall has been the number of mental mistakes, 35 penalties for 350 yards. Grade, the Dallas Cowboys center Joe Looney Associated Press. The Dallas Cowboys' greatest strength is now its biggest question mark. The team's vaunted offensive line isn't as sturdy as it once was. Second-round rookie Connor Williams is still trying to establish himself at left guard. All-Pro right guard Zach Martin missed 9 days of practice with a hyperextended knee, but he told reporters Tuesday he feels great and is ready to roll for the regular season. Center is the real concern after medical personnel diagnosed Travis Frederick with an autoimmune disease. A timetable for Frederick's return is not yet known. Thus, Joe Looney steps into the lineup. He's played a lot of football, been in our system for 3 years now, so we're very comfortable and confident in what he brings to us, Martin said of Looney. The forced reshuffling of Dallas' offensive front took emphasis off other key positions. Wide receiver remains a question mark with little clarity. Cole Beasley, Michael Gallup, Tavon Austin and Allen Hurns are the top 4 options, but none of them is a true no. One option, defensive end Randy Gregory developed into the organization's biggest preseason positive. Now cleared, Gregory looks like the perfect edge complement to DeMarcus Lawrence. Grade, see Denver Broncos right tackle Jared Veldheer. Patrick Smith, Getty Images. The Denver Broncos settled their quarterback questions when they signed Case Keenum to a 2-year, $36 million free agent deal. The team could then concentrate on other areas of the offense. The right side of the offensive line needed to be rebuilt. McGovern and Jared Veldheer now lock down the strong side. Veldheer, in particular, allows the offense to move on from last year's right tackle disaster. He's helped us by having a tackle who has played at a high level with some consistency, head coach Vance Joseph said, per ESPN.com, as Jeff Legwold. The group, as a whole, is bigger and more physical, which creates more opportunities in the running game. Third-round rookie Royce Freeman looked like a starting-caliber back, averaging 5.6 yards per carry and scoring 3 touchdowns during the preseason. Joseph doesn't plan to name a lead back, though. If we call a power play against Seattle on 1st and 10, it's probably going to be Royce, Joseph told reporters. If we go empty and throw a quick pass, it may be Devontae Booker. Stopping the run is another matter altogether based on the team's subpar performance as a whole when our ones and twos were out there. As far as preseason, outside of, I think, week 1, we have given up 2 big runs that were concerning, Joseph said, per Mile High Reports' Tim Lynch. I think against Chicago and Minnesota we had a couple issues there, but I'm not concerned because the things that we did wrong we can fix. Grade C. New Lions head coach Matt Patricia. Gregory Seamus, Getty Images. New Detroit Lions head coach Matt Patricia is already tempering expectations before the games count since his team didn't excel during the preseason. I mean, look, we're going to come in, and we're going to work hard every single day, Patricia said, per ESPN.com's Michael Rothstein. We're going to get better every day. We're going to try to do the best we can. Those guys are coming in, working real hard, and that's a positive. From my standpoint, working hard is great. Results matter, though. Preseason records mean nothing, of course, but the actual performance, especially by the team's projected starters, does. Detroit finished among the bottom 8 in total offense and defense during Patricia's first 4 contests. Obviously, every new coaching staff requires an adjustment period, and not everything turned into a negative. The Lions have a more potent rushing attack with LeGarrette Blount and Kerryon Johnson leading the way. First-round pick Frank Ragnow played well at guard and center. Tracy Walker helps an already impressive rookie class as a critical part of the secondary rotation. Patricia doesn't have all the pieces in place to implement his full approach, particularly on defense, but the team attacked and improved in certain problem areas. Grade D. Cornerback Josh Jackson has been spectacular in the preseason. Mike Romer, Associated Press. Mike Pettini's impact as the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator can't be overstated. I think communication, former Packers safety Johnny Gray said when asked about changes in the defense, per the Appleton Post-Crescent's Brett Christopherson. Keeping it simple for these guys to go out there and just line up and play. To be able to see the rookie corners, you drafted them for a reason, because you see them making plays. Josh Jackson and Jaire Alexander are making plays with 1 interception apiece. Jackson in particular has been spectacular. The Iowa product outperformed every other cornerback this preseason by allowing a minuscule 16.7 catch rate, according to Pro Football Focus. The pass defense has served as a counterbalance to Green Bay's explosive offense with Aaron Rodgers under center. The team has improved in the secondary, and Rodgers' long-term future is no longer an issue after he signed a record-breaking 4-year extension potentially worth $180 million in total value. With Rodgers' situation settled, the coaching staff can concentrate on how to maximize the offense's potential, like getting the ball to tight end Jimmy Graham. He can do it all over the field, Rodgers said of Graham, per the Associated Press. HTFoxSports.com. He's an incredible athlete, he's got a wide catch radius, and there's a lot of things he can do. Grade B. A healthy Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt should be ready to go week 1. Bob Levy, Getty Images. The Houston Texans decided to revamp their offense this offseason by building the scheme around quarterback Deshaun Watson and a new look front. I think you have to be willing to change in this league relative to the talent you have, head coach Bill O'Brien said on PFT Live in April. Per Pro Football Talk's Michael David Smith, a healthy Watson is a big step in the right direction after he suffered a torn ACL in November. The second-year signal caller attempted only 15 passes this preseason. Even though O'Brien expanded the playbook, I wouldn't say he's trying to change something that wasn't broken, but he's just saying that we were very simple last year, Watson said, per ESPN.com's Sarah Barshop. And with me being in the system for a whole year and having an off-season, there's a lot more that we can do with the offense than we did last year. A reworked offensive line allows the Texans to do more. Nick Martin returns at center. New additions Senio Calameti and Zach Fulton are solid at guard. Chantrell Henderson, who also joined the team this offseason, can handle right tackle duties. It falls on Julian Davenport to secure Watson's blind side. Houston's front 5 isn't a star-studded group, but it's an improvement over last year's debacle. 54 sacks allow, as long as J.J. Watt is ready, which he appeared to be during the third preseason contest. The Texans' defense should be just fine. Grade, Andrew Luck completed 80% of his passes in his third preseason game. Associated Press: all eyes have been on quarterback Andrew Luck every time he's taken the field, and rightly so. Luck responded by improving with each passing week. More importantly, he didn't experience any soreness in his surgically repaired shoulder. "My arm feels awesome," he said after the Colts' second preseason contest, per the Associated Press. "I'm not going to lie to you guys. I actually feel very good and strong. My shoulder felt alive." Keeping Luck healthy is a vital part of the Colts' plan. In order to do so, the offensive line must develop into a strength, and it's on its way with Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly anchoring the middle. Right tackle hasn't been decided, though, with Joe Hagan rookie Braden Smith still in the mix. Otherwise, the team can turn its attention toward a more pressing matter. The Colts' defense doesn't scare anyone. It lacks consistent edge rushers. Starting caliber cornerbacks are scarce. Last year's first-round pick, Malik Hooker, may be forced to erase plenty of mistakes. Have young guys come in, learn the system and have them play right away and play pretty effective, defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus said, per ESPN.com's Mike Wells. "It's a simplistic way to teach, and it turns guys loose, and it should be fun to watch and fun to play in. We aren't there yet, but that is what we are searching for." Grade, see the Jags will hope Dante Moncrief lives up to his deal after Marquise Lee's injury. Associated Press: everyone places so much emphasis on quarterback Blake Bortles and whether he can lead the Jacksonville Jaguars to a Super Bowl that they overlook his supporting cast, specifically wide receiver. The team's options at the position are less promising today than the start of preseason after Marquise Lee's season-ending knee injury. "I still see it as competition there," head coach Doug Marrone said, per ESPN.com's Michael DeRocco. "We're not settled on some of the spots at receiver, but we feel that we're good enough to go into the season with the guys that we think can make the team." Jacksonville features an elite defense. The offensive line will be even more physical this fall after adding top free agent guard Andrew Norwell. Finally, the running back position is loaded with Leonard Fournette leading the way. So what? The NFL is a passing league, and the Jaguars can't lean on any of their receivers. Instead, the offense will go into the campaign hoping Dante Moncrief will live up to his one-year, $9.6 million contract. Keelan Cole will have to build upon last year's surprise performance. Rashad Green and Dede Westbrook can work out of the slot. DJ Chark Jr. is a vertical threat, but a rookie running back Corey Grant actually led the team with 9 preseason receptions. Grade, see Patrick Mahomes brings a new element to the Chiefs with his arm. Associated Press: the Kansas City Chiefs have been an established playoff squad since Andy Reid became the head coach in 2013. Whether this changes depends on second-year quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes' maturation defined the Chiefs' preseason after the franchise dealt Alex Smith to Washington. Last year's 10th overall pick clearly provides something different with his electric arm talent. Smith won't be completing 69-yard dimes for his new team. But Kansas City can't easily replace the veteran's understanding of schemes and pre- and post-snap reads. How Mahomes progressed in limited opportunities is important to the organization. He's going to make some big throws, Reid said, per ESPN.com's Adam Teicher. The long ones will come. But those intermediate throws, that's important. The possession throws that kind of keep the chains moving are as important or more so than even the big ones. Mahomes completed 72.1% of his passes this preseason. It's a positive sign he can move the offense like Reid prefers, while his arm strength adds a new element. With the offensive set, the same can't be said of the secondary, where the Chiefs are struggling to find a reliable cornerback opposite Kendall Fuller, who is at his best covering the slot. Grade, B. Mike Williams has stood out this preseason. Rick Scateri, Associated Press: Philip Rivers enters his 15th season with arguably the best supporting cast of his career. The Los Angeles Chargers feature a deep wide receiver core with Keenan Allen, Tyrell Williams, Travis Benjamin and a healthy Mike Williams. Allen is Rivers' favorite target, but the Chargers staff sees something special in Mike Williams. He's shown us throughout the course of camp all of the different things he can do, offensive coordinator Ken Whisenhunt said, per ESPN.com. Eric D. Williams. Whether it's running a shallow crossing route or a curl, you felt like he could catch some of the balls down the field and make the contested catches. When running backs Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler are added to the mix, the Chargers will be hard to stop, especially behind an improved offensive line featuring Mike Pouncey and Forrest Lamp, who missed all of last season because of a torn ACL. All of this means nothing if the game is on the line and the Chargers can't confidently attempt a field goal. The competition between Caleb Sturgis and Roberto Aguayo has gone down to the wire. We brought Caleb in to be our kicker, head coach Anthony Lynn said Thursday, per the Los Angeles Daily News. Jack Wong. Last couple of weeks, he showed that he could do that. Roberto, I take my hat off to him. He came in, he competed, he was consistent. Grade B. Dominique Easley may provide the Rams with an interesting alternative at outside linebacker. Associated Press. The Los Angeles Rams roster is stacked at every position but one. Outside linebacker remains a major question mark, but the team may have found a solution from an unlikely source. Defensive coordinator Wade Phillips named Samson Ebukam a starter in June, but the other side remains a question mark. The team lists Matt Longacre as Ebukam's bookend, yet an interesting alternative developed. Dominique Easley is making the transition from defensive line to linebacker. The move makes sense for two reasons. First, the Rams must find someone who can add an edge presence and provide some pass rushing capabilities. Second, Easley's extensive injury history, with 3 ACL tears, plays a factor. Because of his history, I think it's easier outside, Phillips said, per ESPN.com. As Lindsay Theory. You're not pounding against a 300-something pound guy every day, which he did normally. He played a lot of inside, but I think this gives him a little more freedom to utilize his ability. The edge rushers will be helped tremendously by Aaron Donald's return to the lineup after he secured a 6-year, $135 million extension Friday, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. With Donald's contract demands satisfied, the Rams feature the NFL's deepest and most talented roster. If Easley is the answer as an edge rusher, all of the team's changes will have worked out in its favor. Grade A. Kenyon Drake can create plays as a runner and receiver. Associated Press. The Miami Dolphins need a new identity. The organization tried to force the situation this offseason by trading Jarvis Landry to the Browns and releasing Ndamukong Suh and Mike Pouncey. The front office then signed established veterans from winning programs, Danny Amendola, Frank Gore and Josh Sidon, to change the locker room's mindset. Drastic changes aren't always the answer. Some things must happen organically. The Dolphins, for example, became a playoff squad in 2016 when they built their identity around a physical running game featuring Jay Ajayi. A similar approach seems to be the best course this season. Based on preseason performances, Miami tied for second overall by averaging 4.7 yards per rushing attempt. Kenyon Drake isn't the same type of back as Ajayi, but he's developing into the offense's focal point.